Did you have moments with that Warriors team? I mean, you sort of just referenced it a little bit, where you've been on so many teams in so many different situations over your career, but just the level of talent is crazy.
Crazy. And because I personally feel like that was our downfall with the Clippers. We had a lot of talent too. Not obviously, maybe not to the tune once they added KD that they had.
The 17 team was different, yeah.
But we just got in our own ways with the Clippers. Our egos, mental toughness, everything you really need to be a championship team, we lacked. When I went to Golden State, it was crazy because they lacked nothing. And on top of that, when you have a Kevin Durant, a Steph Curry, a Klay, a Draymond Green, a Finals MVP, and Andre Iguodala, Steve Kerr, who's won several championships, like when you have all that shit and there's no egos and there's no agenda and it's just whoever scored, I don't give a fuck, let's just win. It's just like, damn, it's a beautiful thing to see. And although it was really short lived, I didn't play for him long. It was just a breath of fresh air. Like you really enjoyed going to practice. You enjoyed going on road trips because the guys, like, they just got it. So I feel like if I would have been with that team if I would have been with them for a number of years, it would have been amazing. But I got a small piece of it. But on the flip side, like I said, I feel like their strengths off the court were our weaknesses that we needed to win on the court.
Yeah, I feel like we've talked about that ad nauseum. I know I have on different podcast appearances. I know you have as well. I don't necessarily want to get into that. We were looking at that 17 playoff run that the Warriors had after we got done with Draymond yesterday. They were like 16-1. Y'all were 60. It was.
By the time like my ankle felt okay, we were already 9-0. I'm just like, me being a veteran, I'm like, you're not gonna fuck a rhythm up no matter who, unless I'm like a Steph or a KD trying to work his way back in. I don't care who you are. You're not gonna crack a rotation when you're in the Western Conference Finals and you're undefeated. You know what I mean? So it's just a kind of having an understanding. But that was a cold fucking team, man. It was unbelievable.
I played in the finals in 2009. You joined the Magic the following season. We also traded for Vince that season. I believe that our 2010 team was actually better than the 2009 team that made the finals, and I think our 2015 Clippers team was the best Clippers team we had, and also the most realistic chance we had to win. Where would you rank those teams against each other? Because those are the two best teams that I played on.
Fuck. And it's crazy because I just feel like Dwight Howard gets so disrespected right now. But that Dwight Howard, although he was a goofball, was unbelievable. Like, I've never felt so confident playing defense on a wing, no matter who I was guarding, knowing that if they happen to get by me, like, Dwight is going to either intimidate him, foul him, or block that shit to the third row. Like, I've never felt that. I feel, damn, that Orlando team, like, I agree with you. That was one of the top three most talented teams I've been on. And I definitely felt like, you know, that's what that Laker game was so with the ball fake with Kobe. Like, there was so much anticipation that we were supposed to play them again. Like, this is going to be the finals again. But where would I rank them? Fuck. It's hard to go against CP. But we were so deep.
It's hard to go against CP.
We were so deep in Orlando, man. I don't know.
The Orlando team had more depth than our
more
2015 team.
More shooting.
It's tough to say.
Yeah, so it was Jameer,
Vince, Richard,
Petrus, Richard, and Dwight,
and you.
But remember, Van Gundy was a weirdo. Like, remember Van Gundy was so weird. Van Gundy used to play me and Petrus like, you play the first quarter, you play the second quarter, you play the third quarter. Like, no matter how the fuck. I remember we had a game in Brooklyn one time, and I don't remember the exact number, but I want to say he had like 4 threes in the first quarter, maybe had like 16 points. It didn't play till the third quarter. Like, you fucking kidding me? Like, this is not 5-year-old, 6-year-old basketball. Everyone gets a turn to play. But yeah, we were deep. But man, those Clipper teams were deep. We were 10, 11 deep with the Clipper teams too, man. I don't know how I came up with the game 7 when we beat San Antonio in the first round. And I went back and watched a little highlight of that, man. And like, we were.
So because we actually weirdly don't talk about it very often on the show. What do you think happened in the Boston series? Yeah.
Matt, I want to let you handle this question.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe I smoked a lot of weed and it's kind of deterred over the years of what really happened and what actually happened. But I just remember we were 8-0 in the playoffs.
We were 41-8. So we had finished the regular season 33-8 over the second half of the season. We swept the Bobcats in the first round.
And Atlanta
swept
smacked
Atlanta.
them. And then, correct me if I'm wrong, because this is what I remember. Stan felt like, although we had success against Boston during the season, right, that we needed to add a few wrinkles because they're a veteran team, right?
It was the Thibodeau strong side defense.
Right. So but from there, we're thinking a few adjustments. Cool. That goes in one ear, out the other. What do you got for us, Stan? And we kind of changed our whole offense, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Okay, so I'm glad I wasn't smoking too much fat. Like,
we did.
It blew me away. Like, we were the team. We were the hot. Like, to me, it's not a lot of luck goes into winning championships, but you got to get hot at the right time. And we were smoking hot going into the playoffs. And to go into the Eastern Finals and just trying to change everything up, I just kind of felt like, and all credit to Stan, I feel like Stan's one of the brightest basketball minds I've ever had an opportunity to get to know and play for. But I felt like he just got nervous in that series, and it cost us.
Stan was great at making adjustments within a playoff series. And during that Orlando run specifically, 08, 09, 10, I felt like you get to the middle of the series and he's going to come up with a game plan that's going to get you a win. As long as we had executed it, right?
It was
he
our
was
job
willing
to finish.
to sort of be proactive in coming up with a good game plan. The thing about that series was that we hadn't played a game yet.
So right. we adjusted before we even knew what they were coming with.
Yeah, it was a little bit of an adjustment. So that was interesting. Man, it's so weird, and I like literally didn't think I was going to talk about this today, but I remember in 09, Lakers won Game 5 in Orlando. That's when it used to still be 2-3-2, and me, Jameer, and Dwight all stood on the court and watched them celebrate. And I was young in my career. Jameer and Dwight are in their 5th year. We had Rashard Lewis locked up to a long-term deal. And I remember thinking to myself, like, we'll be back. Not a guarantee we'll be back, but there was a sense like, oh, that wasn't my first chance to win.
Won't be my last.
Dwight's. Dwight obviously won one, but it won't be Dwight's. It won't be Jameer's. Me and Jameer never got back, and I played on some fucking great teams after that. It's your window. It's just it can close so quickly.
Close while you're crawling through it.